sound, movement, and thought. The basic responses of I and I. Metamorphosis.
Keep listening.
In life I shall be the same, in death I shall be a terror.
Iman black, me no brown, me no white. Nazi Babylon stripe, you mad.
Guiding I eternally. Guide I. It's the voice that sets me free. Guide I.
Emerging from a cocoon into a caterpillar, from a caterpillar to a butterfly. The metamorphosis is here, it's live. Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis, word, sound and power, music, drumming, current affairs, everything to grow and lift up your mind. Metamorphosis.
No more youths and youths for sale. We get wise and don't decide to change them style. Bobby wrong, keep your empty promises and your crooked smile. Metamorphosis, come with your thoughts, change your way of thinking. Metamorphosis, the change begins with you.
When a Carthage, Black men of Ethiopia, Timbuktu, Alexandria gave the light of civilization to this world. Ethiopia shall stretch forth our hands unto God, and princes shall come out of Egypt.
Guide I. It's the voice that sets me free. Guide I.
Good evening, Iman Black.
Good evening.
This is Pauline from St. Mary. Calling to big you up on your program. I am a disciple. I've been there since almost the inception.
Guide I. It's the voice that sets me free.
I just you may have to tune into because, me always even watch some other television and stuff, and that I have to see for later. I have to really listen to you first, you know what I mean?
How my one God one machikum bakhna Africa dafa bakhna kidafanya kidafarafet one machiki bunjul kidafa bunjul one yandeke sawai kidafa bunjul one machiki bunjul kidafa bunjul dafnen rafet yomenta menda ingama dafnen rafet yomenta menda ingara dafnen rafet yomenta menda ingara. Did you know that's a richer Africa? Did you know that's a richer Africa? Did you know? Said the whole world love it. Did you know? Said the whole world love it. Be proud of your culture. Be proud of that what you got. Be proud.
Jambo, vipi, karibuni katika kipindi cha Dr I MAN BLAK. Kipindi chaitwa Metamorphosis. Jifundishe, elimika na muelimike.
Children go, hey. Africa prepare, cause I'm coming home. Black man prepare, cause we going home. Africa prepare, I and I coming home. People prepare, cause you're going home. The joy you bring you, my song I sing you. The fire within you, the struggle continue. Let's just begin you. We got to win you. Prosecute and trim you. Still praise the king you. Got to be bold and brave. They call you. Settlers they call you. Peace slave now look at you. With the length of days give praise. Fire of the blaze. Africa prepare, cause I'm coming home. Black man prepare, cause we going home. Africa prepare, I and I coming home. People prepare, cause you're going home. No equal rights, not justice, no schools, no jobs. The more they use the book is. They do some farming, they get up, blow up, me progress. Babylon can't touch this. Look to the east for the crowning of your king. That's the way you all should go. Best most I ever living God a praise. And I'm not living in a white flow. Africa prepare, cause I'm coming home. Black man prepare, cause we going home. Africa prepare, I and I coming home. People prepare, cause you're going home. That's when the propagandas, because they want to start a thing. And the backstabbers, they slander and they touch all sort of thing. No, I'm the light of the world. What a thing. Bundum Rome, Bundum Babylon, they can't stop fighting. They always fight us. Them not go make me frost. I come to lead the mass. All them a chat are redemption. I want Bobo Santis, the repatriation. Tell them a redemption. I want King Iman say repatriation. Bongo Naya, woo, Africa prepare, cause I'm coming home. People prepare, cause we are going home. Africa prepare, I and I coming home. So, just about Babylon, I'm not here. I ain't giving up, keep on living up. I'm indigenous. What the money will I still say? I draw Rastafari. Kill the bun rain in the heart of all flesh. The conquering lion, crown king of kings, lord of lords, with them lioness. So you know, repatriation is a must in Ethiopia, Africa. Boom! Rastaman, we taking over, and we've got nothing to fear. We taking over. Righteousness, me declare we taking over, and we've got nothing to fear. Come on, let me see your hands in the air. Taking over, and we've got nothing to fear. We taking over. Righteousness, me declare we taking over, and we've got nothing to fear. Come on, well up. Yo, cause a full time now. Let that trumpet sound. A full time now. Babylon going down. A full time now. Let the youth them we are the crown. Yo, in the country and the town. Hungry be fed, naked the clothes. Sick minorities protected. Infants decayed for. Me and Babylon now go par. Tell them me and dirty Babylon always a war. Now go do me and none of them cookie jar. Police boy for lax, but Tamar, him go mar. The soldier boy for lax, but Tamar, him go mar. To him and the Pope and the bitch, one go par. That's the last, you flash the lightning that me tell the gun dar. The last I roll the thunder that me tell the gun dar. Them last them ways, them no know who them are. Well let me tell you you're the first and a morning star. No for them a block,
World Cup hot.
King Selassie is the almighty star. Emmanuel Ade, how you preach your star. Marcus Ame, Black Prophet
World Cup hot.
Come and see me, Black Mother your star. Selassie bless him, don't let chalice when just shut up. Most of them must smoke them Cuban cigar. Must smoke me marijuana in a me van or me car.
Can sport be separated from politics? Can sports be separated from politics? World Cup hot.
And we've got nothing to fear, we taking over. Righteousness, me I declare me taking over. And we've got nothing to fear. Come on, let me see your hands in the air, we taking over. And we've got nothing to fear, we taking over. Righteousness, me declare we taking over. Taking over. You know. Not trust us for your minute nor second. Righteousness, and that me come for reckon. Tell them sell me so and sell I say I bet on them just stubborn. To them start to carry a big weapon.
Away from Africa with the intention to steal our culture. The good father passed by and said, humble yourself, my children. Humble yourself, my little one. Humble yourself.
Metamorphosis. World Cup hot. Hot. First they were 32. And then they were 16. soon there will only be 8. Now there are 6. World Cup hot. What is sport? Can sport be separated from politics? Why is religion personal? Why is religion personal? Can sports be separated from politics? What is the difference between politics and religion? Metamorphosis. Can Jamaica ever get to a World Cup again? Tenastilin, greetings. Hail to all the ones and ones listening to Stylzfm, and specifically hail to ones who are tuned into the Metamorphosis. First time listener, greetings. Second time listener, greetings. Long time listener, hail up the item. More powers. So, we are at a moment in July, a new month. And time keeps moving on. They say it is the 7th month in the calendar year. Know what you have done with the last 6. Know what you plan to do with the next 4 or 5. So strategizing and planning must be a normal way of existing for I and I. Strategizing, planning, ultimately awaiting the moment for execution. Because planning and just keep on planning, where there is no action, is idleness, waste of time. So within this metamorphosis, I want to engage with listeners with what's really going on in the globe and the world of sport, particularly FIFA's world, and I want to look into the stages of the competition, where it reached, and as African people, how do we stand relative to this global war? There are a lot of things have been exposed because of this global clash. Culturally, financially, racially, politically, all sorts of things have become exposed. And so I am asking the initial question, hoping that I'll get some feed forward in this program. The lines are open early, 4531444. And I'll soon tell you the overseas one, 973 55 954 338 7973. Yeah, overseas people. That is your link into the program tonight. So because of the excitement that has been going on, obviously a lot of serious things have been put aside. Lots of serious economic issues, serious political issues, globally and locally, have been sort of put aside while we are distracted by this global entertainment. But I keep saying to the item that within entertainment, we have to learn to look beyond the performers and to observe the forces that make everything move and how these forces impact on I and I as individual, how it impacts upon us as a collective. So the football now is what we want to look at in a way that will allow people who are not footballers, people who maybe don't even like the game, hopefully some of these persons may find some of the presentation and the reasoning interesting and hold them, give them a perception and hopefully a view into the game. Because the game is more than what's on the play field. Now, initially, 32 teams started out. And we know that at the end product, there's only one that will be left standing. But it's a whole heap of activity now to scrutinize and screen out and get to where we're getting to now, which is the top 8. The top 8 in the world of football. And we have to understand that there are powers that are governing and directing these organized sports. And the great power that I speak to now is FIFA. And FIFA has created an even greater power called the VAR. And in the VAR is a whole heap of isms. Because let us not forget that it is 3 men who are sitting behind these machines. So I don't want anybody to get the feeling that that is machines making decisions when it speaks about the VAR. The VAR is a new technology to define a lot of things. And I noticed that the referees are, for almost every infraction, them touch them earphone as if they are getting instructions from the big brain called the VAR. And I want to suggest to them early that my argument early that racism, which is in sports generally and in football in particular, they have sort of removed racism from the referees and the play field and the eyes of the public, and it's now been hidden in the VAR. And the VAR is making racist decisions. So I will speak about that as we go through the program still. But what is coming out in a place like Jamaica now, first thing that is obvious is the type of support and how the support it shows itself. And I want to really ask the question now as to really what is it that really makes a person become a supporter of a team? What is the important elements that decide what team you support or what country? Because in the World Cup now we're seeing arguments surfacing around the history of certain countries. And should I and I as African people, as people who have been colonized, what should our attitude be towards the colonizing countries? Should we find support for their national teams because of football? So that is what I would like some persons to also respond on. What is the basis of support? So for example, there are people who we call in the world of sports fans. And fans are supposed to be persons who basically love sports. And they love the entertainment and they love the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat and the thrills and the spills, and they become fans. There are fanatics. The fanatic now is an individual who not only loves the team, but becomes irrational in determining the result of a match. So in other words, the fanatic views the game with only one intention: for the outcome. The fanatic insists that the outcome must be victory. What we need to realize now that within sports, particularly football as we speak of, is really 3 results. You either win, you lose, or you draw. Those are the basic outcomes of a result, of a match. Where the World Cup is now, a draw is not sufficient. Where the World Cup is now is what they call the knockout stage, wherein if you lose, you get knocked out, technically. And at this stage, your next move is to the airport. You collect your stuff at the hotel and you go to the airport and you go home. So the fanatic now is the individual who's unwilling to even conceptualize his team losing. And therefore when the team lose, him go off in the all sort of violent and vicious behavior. Non-socialized behavior because of the nature of a fanatic. Now I don't know if we reach that level in Jamaica yet, where we have fanatics. But we certainly have fans. And within the fans now, we have fans that we call diehards. These fans now die hard. It's hard for those fans die as it relates to supporting them team. And remember, so we have diehard supporters of political parties as well. Yeah, the diehard supporter, wherein it don't really matter what the team is doing. For them side that. Likewise in local politics, it no matter what the party do, for them party. So we call those diehards. Then there is a set of supporters now who I find to be very exciting. And we in Jamaica call them the wagonists. Now these people I think are very, very, very important for sports. Because these people seem to be just involved in sports strictly for the excitement and the winnings. They don't really even care who is winning at a personal level. They don't really have much identification with the teams that are winning or losing. They really just want to identify with winning, the concept of winning. And so the wagonist joins any team that wins. And if that team begins to lose, the wagonist jumps off and finds a next wagon to jump on, which is another team. And I think this is beautiful. This is a very, very important part of sports. So we have all these type of supporters now. But the question is, should one consider the history of the country that we support? For example, in Jamaica. When I want to say support Germany, for example, should we consider the history of Germany as it relates to African people? When I want to say support Argentina, should one consider the history of Argentina as it relates to black people? Some people think that is too petty. There are those who say we must ignore and forget about race and forget about certain things when we come to the world of sport. The question is why? And can we experience the fullness of sport by ignoring aspects of sport that is real? So, what type of fan are you? What type of supporter are you? What type of supporter are you? Because the game really requires all types of supporters. There are people who love sports for different reasons. There are, for example, people who will watch a football game and admire the players. I'm speaking now about the gender issue, where the females, they will admire the physique of the players. And they like how they look in their uniforms. And on that basis, they become a supporter of a particular team. They may hear about a star player who has features that they admire. And so on that basis, they may admire that player, and therefore they may admire the team. So, should we really consider all of these other factors when we're defending sports at the international level? Because if we go to the world of cricket, and we look at a team like country like South Africa, if a black man is in his right mind becomes a supporter of South Africa, people begin to question his integrity. People begin to question his sanity if him tell you say him support South Africa in cricket. But that same man will tell you say him support Germany in football. And Germany have them history of genocide and racism and so on. So I say, make us flesh this out and determine whether the history of a country should really be considered when we talk about support. There are people in Jamaica who support England. And England, of course, have its brutal history here in Jamaica. And the Queen continues to control the state. Yet people will ignore that and support the England team. So what is it about sports that people will want to push aside certain aspects of reality to cling on to a team? What is it that is so emotional that makes African people overlook their oppressors and begin to support those countries? What is it about I that we must examine? Or is it all about nothing? Metamorphosis.
Right Way 1-on-1 Pharmacy for the most affordable prices. We offer free blood pressure and sugar checks for hypertensive and diabetic patients on each prescription refill. Shop in comfort and experience a customer service which is second to none. Visit Right Way 1-on-1 Pharmacy, Royal Mall, Farmy Building, Port Antonio. Opening hours Mondays to Fridays 8:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and Saturdays 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Major credit, debit, and health cards accepted. Call us at 715-2109. That's 715-2109.
Great news, everyone. DIB Block Factory and Hardware Supplies located at 44 William Street, Port Antonio. Now open every Sunday from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. Stop in and beat the Monday crowd. Get the same great service on a more convenient day. Doing some work on a Sunday, run out of material? No need to worry. DIB Hardware will be there to serve you. Still the #1 supplier in Portland of building materials, hardware supplies, kitchen and bathroom finishes. DIB Hardware Port Antonio. Now open this and every Sunday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 44 William Street, Port Antonio. See you there.
Planning a party, club night out, stage show, a gospel concert, or even a business sales event? Let Stylzfm be a part of your promoting tool. Take advantage of our low-priced promotion packages with commercials, interviews, giveaways, reviews, and much more. We have special offers when you mix and match and bundle your options. Contact us at 876-286-9216 or 439-5160. Stylzfm for the most effective way to exploit your marketing dollar.
Architects, draftsmen, and surveyors, get your drawings printed in high-quality professional standards. We can satisfy your printing needs. Whether it is for presentation to your clients or for submitting building and subdivision application, make it VJ Printing Services. Whether drawing by hand or with computer-aided softwares, we will plot your negatives and print the copies as you need. We do high-quality white paper printing that is water-resistant and never fades, unlike traditional blueprint. For more information, call VJ Printing at 893-2266.
Clifford Guest House, sponsor of Metamorphosis on Monday nights from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight with Dr. Iman Black. Located at 15 Queen Street, Port Antonio, that's Ditchfield Hill. They offer accommodations for up to 1 month. Call them at 285-0610 for more information.
I and I mind to go through the same thing like I and I for parents, but cheers. Cry blood, Africa, cry blood.
Dr. Iman BLAK here, Metamorphosis, looking into sports, the world of FIFA, and the whole global excitement that has been created around the thing called the FIFA's World Cup. And I'm saying, unless you live in the belly of America, that's the only way you not know. Because only in America, people really don't know what's happening in the rest of the world. And the real World Cup is taking place on a global level while America plays college World Baseball Series amongst themselves. Now, it started out in the middle of June, and we're now in July. And we have gone 15, 20 days into the program. And in the beginning, there were 6 continents that started out. And if you had heard some of my initial remarks about World Cup football, it has been and will always be for quite a while a struggle between 2 continents. The struggle is between Europe and South America. And that has not changed. Up to this date, as we are at the final 8 teams, with 6 teams already guaranteed a place in the final 8. Those 6 teams are from Europe and South America. There are 2 more games to be played, and in those 2 matches, it is Europe against Europe and Europe against South America. So from the very beginning, I'm saying to the ones and ones, with all the excitement being created about the other teams from the other confederations, I know that when it gets to the final 8 and 4, we're looking at 2 continents. And it has played out. But with a lot of drama along the way, of course, because it's about entertainment, it's about competition, it's about FIFA managing and marketing a global product. So, we look at the continents that have gone home now. We can look at Oceania. Oceania was represented by Australia, and they are gone without a victory. The next continent that has failed to produce a team in the final 8 is CONCACAF. CONCACAF had their last shot today. Mexicans were thrown down by the South American Brazilians. And so for the last 5 or 6 times, Mexicans have been unable to get beyond this round. Yet Mexico is a powerhouse in CONCACAF. So check it out, you know. The most powerful team in the region that Jamaica play in, for the last 6 World Cup, has not been able to get into the final 8. Right, so we use some of these to make judgments now on other places and other nations. So CONCACAF has gone home. Asia has gone home. Well, not Asia. Oceania has gone home. And today Asia went home. The final Asian team, the Japanese, representing the best team out of Asia, they had another nerve-wracking finish, and they too are gone. So the continents have gone, leaving just 2. The same 2 what I tell you from the very beginning will be there in the final giddy-up. Now Africa is gone. Africa had 5 representatives. They have all also gone. Now a lot of so-called conscious people and a lot of hypocritical black people and brown and Negroes have all decided to come down with the heaviest hand that them can on the African teams. And it's like a jollification. It's like them glorifying the death of them own self without recognizing what those teams and who they really represent. A lot of people mimicking and echoing what the white commentators are saying about football in Africa. And ultimately, it's a demeaning of black people generally, because it comes down to discussing intellectual abilities and intellectual capabilities and mental powers. And I saw here about indiscipline and lack of this and lack of this in the African players. And how they're unable to hold the discipline. The Japanese lost in the final minute to the Germans, and yet these countries are giving enough boosts up for them discipline. So that's a discipline issue. There's a lot of inferiority, self-denigrating feelings. And it come out when the football teams and African teams them feel. Like enough little so-called Negro people jump up and celebrate how Africa has fallen. You know? It's like some reverse psychology where you glorify when your own kind get defeated and you celebrate the enemy. So we see that all kind of criticism start. And if you listen to the media, that's how you hear it. You hear the chastisement about how black people, black players this, and the black team them lack that. And they're not telling you about the racist decisions now made by the VAR against the black teams. Them can't say that, otherwise them lose them posts in the station. Them can't critique the tournament along the lines of race. Because they're afraid of them position, that they will lose their position. And people begin to call them racist. The VAR is run by white men and their own ideology based on what them say. It's FIFA's interest. So nobody feel like it's gone beyond man and into some divinity. It's some men, same way white men. So the African teams in this time around have all faltered. But you see, people who criticize it now, them do have no consciousness of African football, because in 1990 and 94, when the Cameroons come to World Cup and light up the world, and the Super Eagles come and light up the world, everybody did talk about Africa. Everybody jump on, but those were the wagonists. Those were the wagonists. Everybody started telling you, oh, Roger Miller great at age 42, and this and that, and Amanike and the Rasta man, them in the Cameroon side, and everybody started talking about red, green, and gold. One wagon jump on. That was 1990 and 1994. And those African teams inspired the rest of the world, especially these little regions that we call the Caribbean, to move them football programs to international levels. This African football motivate Jamaica more than Brazil. And Trinidad and journey to the World Cup 1990 shake up Jamaica. So I could say how our inspiration come and where it come from. So the Africans who light up the world in 1990 to 1994 realize that, look at this point in time now, this is almost 20 years later, you know. So the generations have turned over from 1994 to 98, and what we have now is younger version of African teams. For example, the Nigerian team is the youngest team at the World Cup. Nobody don't give them any credit for that. The Senegalese produced only and the first black man coach to come to the World Cup. And it's a direction that Africa and black nations will have to take very shortly. Because the leadership of the national team has a lot to do with the output of the players. The whole psyche behind sports.
I must wear a phone and fuck up. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody want to say something. Brethren, you're live. Greetings. All right. The lines are open now. 453-1444. Somebody just tried to call and something just went off right. There's also an overseas number, 954-338-7973. Yeah, I'm just speaking a little bit on how have a way to view Africa and African football, and all them this and all them that, and them lacking this and them lacking that. And Argentina score and the Nigerians them with some up support from FIFA, and you hear all this and that, and it's pure. When Germany take 2 goals in a 30 seconds, we don't hear a sound. We hear that there was a slip up. Oh, they had a slip up. Yeah, because we have this expectation of high levels of performance from these white men. And we don't have the same expectation from ourselves. So when we're playing very well, but nobody even compliments the African team when they're playing well. They don't not do that. And we listen to the European commentators and how they denigrate the Africans, how them just big. And look how they got Senegal out of the tournament on yellow cards. And the 2 yellow cards that defeat Senegal were given to them in the same match, the same final match. So, because I know that FIFA is a money-making machine, And FIFA knows about gate receipts and television rights. They understand the importance of certain things going forward. And so it is. So I speak in defense of the teams of Africa who have gone home. Yeah, they mash up the Egyptian team because they mash up Mohamed Salah in the European Champions League final. The Spanish man, they mash him up. And so the Egyptian side were defeated even before them started. So race is an important factor in sports all the while. And we cannot separate sports from race. And sports is a common side for racism. And part of the reason for that is because there are some biological and genetic assumptions that are made about black people. This is what the Europeans have done. They've made some biological and genetic assumptions. And these are racist assumptions. And these assumptions assume that there are intellectual limitations amongst black people. So they put these assumptions of intellectual limitation alongside the physical capabilities and use those ideologies to suppress black man. And then what is so tragic about it now, when other black people now hear these ideas, they take them on. And they project them even stronger than those who gave us to hold them in the first place. So it is wealth that separates the football in Africa from the football in Europe. It's not talent, it's a wealth. And it's very evident because if you look in the European leagues, that's where all the wealth is. It is the European leagues that attract the players from around the globe. So when we look at the football and the World Cup where we reach in this group of 8, we also see that we're perhaps experiencing a changing of the guard in the world of FIFA. FIFA have a system that they call ranking. Ranking system developed very recently as a promotional stunt. Because in the United States, their professional sports is determined by rankings. All teams are ranked. High school, baseball, and pros team ranking, and teams try to move up and down the ranking. FIFA never had that until just here. And you know that the Russian team is ranked number 70. You know that, Cass? Russians are ranked 70 by FIFA, you know. And you know, so Jamaica ranked higher than Russia. You know, FIFA rankings. It shows to the rankings, them rank. It don't relate to real football. But be that as it may, we see a changing in the guard of power in FIFA football. The powerhouse coming into the tournament was Germany. Germany was not only the defending champions, Germany were winners of the Confederation Cup. This is a trophy played for as a warm-up to the World Cup. And Germany won that playing using them B team. Maybe this is where the arrogance started to slip in. They used their B team and win the Confederation Cup. So in their mind, the A team was on cruise. And of course, the cruise right onto an airplane, right back into Germany. The next giant to fall was the European champions, the Spanish team. People expect Spanish team to do them ticky-tacky and pass, and pass them way right through the immigration, right onto the plane. They too are home. The Portuguese show up with them CR7. E2 is on the plane. And the Portuguese are gone. The team that is supposed to have the world's greatest player in it is also gone. We're talking about the Argentinians and Lionel Messi. And the Germans, the Argentines, and the Spanish, those countries have won the World Cup already. And I'm suggesting to them now that there are still more teams to go home in these final 2 games. Teams that represent the traditional giants. And out of that group of 4, I am saying England. Yeah, man, Colombia must sink them. And really put an end to that whole drama and chain of history of these colonial powers in world football. And there is a door opening, not for a new power, you know, but for a new generation of players. Because the French team is in a position to challenge for the trophy. But we must remember that French team is made up of a whole heap of black African players. The same type of players who, when we see them play in their national team, we call them indisciplined. Yet when we see these players function in a system that is generated by more wealth and resources, we see all world-class players. So you have to be careful how you criticize the national teams of Africa without considering the resources that are lacking. And also recognize that the African football is at its highest at the under-20 level, where we, meaning Africa, have defeated the two South American giants in Brazil and Argentina at that level. But the nation teams lack the resources to promote that high kind of science football now that is taking place in Europe. So the young Africans now must go into Europe, join a team at the third division, and they work their way to the first division until they become Premier League stars. It's a process that is debilitating to Africa at the national level, but it makes football sparkle in Europe. So the French are on the route to show themselves. Whole heap of nice players in there. Mbappe, the man with new 19-year-old youth. The first young player to score 2 goals in the World Cup since the days of Edson Arantes do Nascimento. 16-year-old Pele. And here we have a 19-year-old in France showing some serious amount of quality. The England ship, the English team, engaged in what I call match fixing to finish second in the group to Belgium, because they have in their minds playing Colombia would be a weaker opposition than the Japanese. Well, we saw what the Japanese had to offer today. Well, the Englishmen will be in for a surprise, because the Colombians are coming and them have them South American style and play. So Harry Kane may just get grind up and the cane juice sent to England. So the competition is in a critical stage. It is Europe versus South America. Europe has Russia, France, Croatia, Belgium. It's going to be either Sweden or Switzerland, which still will be Europe. And the match between Colombia and England will determine whether it will be a South American team or another European team. So when we look at World FIFA's football, it's a European thing. It's a European science. And there was a match on today that put the Brazilians into the group of 8. And I will say to you what the coach said in my own way. I paraphrase what the Brazilian coach said. The Brazilian coach said he spent the last 2 years studying the philosophy of European football. What am I say? Tite, the Brazilian coach, he has confessed that he has spent the last 2 years studying deeply the psychology and the philosophy of European football. And with that knowledge, Tite has transformed the Brazil framework from that brittle one-man team that showed up in 2014 to a steely defensive unit that is brilliant and fast and rapid in attack. That was never the style of Brazilian football. But the Brazilians have adjusted to the world football by overstanding the philosophy and the psychology of European football and abstract from that and apply to Brazilian philosophy. What we're seeing now is something different, something that is more attractive, very dynamic, and something that can challenge for the world title. So there are no Germans, and there are no Spanish. There is a French, there's a Belgium. There is a traditional struggle now between Europe and South America. Small places like Jamaica, we have to wheel and come again. Far, we have to do enough wheel and come again. And our process, of course, begins at the tournament end. And I can't go no further without congratulating now the Mount Pleasant team in St. Anne's. The Mount Pleasant team is coached by a Davis. You didn't know that, Cassidy? I'd say that Davis coached it. The Davis name Paul, you know. The country know him as T-Gat. Yeah, so I yell up T-Gat. I'm a fleshy, for those who don't know. The football blood runs through the vein. And that team now is in a position to enter our National Premier League. And our National Premier League tries to produce players that we get into our national team. And our national team now must contest with teams in the Caribbean and teams in CONCACAF to get to that stage that we are now looking at. High stage, high resources, high technology. Can countries like Jamaica ever get to that stage again? Metamorphosis. (453-1444). That is the number.
Oh,
planning a party, club night out, stage show, a gospel concert, or even a business sales event? Let Stylzfm be a part of your promoting tool. Take advantage of our low-priced promotion packages with commercials, interviews, giveaways, reviews, and much more. We have special offers when you mix and match and bundle your options. Contact us at 876-286-9216 or 439-5160. Stylzfm for the most effective way to exploit your marketing dollar.
This is Ricardo Suave, inviting you to tune into Smoothic, the show for the ladies, with DJ Prestige, from 9 to midnight every Tuesday on Styles 96.1 FM, Portland's best.
I've been watching you.
Remember Styles FM on social media. View us on YouTube, Styles FM Radio. Follow us on Instagram at Styles FM. Like us on Twitter at Stylzfm 961. Become a fan on Facebook, Styles FM 96.1.
Guess what? Stylzfm has a new business number for you to call, text, and now WhatsApp. 518-2399. To advertise your business and events, call, text, or WhatsApp us on
518-2399. 518-2399.
Don't forget, 518-2399.
It's Wow Factor Tuesdays with Chungy and Shelly. Every Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's entertainment and interaction at its best, with features like the Share to Care segment, the Uprising 10 Countdown, and the ever-controversial Love Break. Yes, it's the Wow Factor. Your Tuesday mornings will never be the same again.
Wow Factor Tuesdays is sponsored by Bobby's Cafe, Bar and Grill.
Clifford Guest House, sponsor of Metamorphosis on Monday nights from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight with Dr. Iman Black. Located at 15 Queen Street, Port Antonio, that's Titchfield Hill, they offer accommodations for up to 1 month. Call them at 285-0610 for more information.
Yeah, I need to share this with my listeners. This is coming on my WhatsApp from Mark. And because we are discussing football and Africa's presence here, there, and everywhere. Hear this now. I'm going to describe a team playing in the World Cup. One team, you know. And listen to the individual players in the team now. Samuel Umtiti, a Cameroonian, pick up the ball and then pass it to Matuidi, who's an Angolan. And Angolan push the ball to the Togolese named Tolisso, who come from Mali. And finally pass it to the Guinean, Paul Pogba. And boom, France score. I'm saying this is the only African team with some hope. In other words, now, the French team have a Cameroonian, an Angolan, a Togolese, a man from Mali, yeah, a Mbappe who passes to Dembele. So when we look at who's a Guinean, to Pogba, so one team alone, the great colonial racist force called France, they now have decided to draw upon all of their resources, which also mean their colonies and their people, and they have extracted from Africa not only minerals and material resources out of the land, but they have also extracted the people. And so in the French team, we see Africa, big and bold. And black people looking on can make the distinction between Africans there and Africans in the national team and realize that it's African people playing in two different systems. And one system is highly organized and heavily funded and well scientifically organized and put in place. That's what you find in Europe. So not only Africans have to be going to Europe to improve, but the South Americans too. And that trend began in the 1970s, when the world football was wrestled away from Brazil, because Brazil had been 3-time champions up to 1970. And on the retirement of Pelé, the Europeans wrestled football away from the Brazilians and South America in general, and Europe became the controlling force. And South America was now represented no longer by Brazil, but by Argentina and the Diego Maradona. And that's what maintained that struggle. But Brazil went to the backwaters, and for 24 years, they were in the wilderness. So when we begin to defend teams now, and we look at the remaining teams, can we really lose colonial history to support the idea of supporting these teams? We look at the host team, Russia. Putin's men have defied the odds and have gone beyond not just the group of 16, they have now got into the group of 8. And they're approaching this like war, meaning tactically and strategically they are willing to engage in a war of attrition. And what does that mean? It means they're willing to wear you down for 120 minutes and take you into the penalty shootouts. They have the discipline to be able to try to hold that as their methodology. And we have to see how long that will last. The VAR will never go against Russia. Me are telling you that. There's no VAR decision that will go against Russia, because Putin will send for the money right away. Of course, that's not a literal truth, but we're talking about influence, political influence now, and the running of the football competition, and the fact that Putin is the president of the Russian Football Federation. So how much more connection you want now between politics and sports? And why should there be a separation? It's only Europeans I hear asking for this separation, but I'm saying from the African perspective, we should not fall for that deception. We must see that these things are all connected, integrally connected, sports and politics. Because it's through sports we can get political decisions made. We have that experience with the cricket and the apartheid, etc., etc. The Europeans realize that we have this great power in sport, but they're encouraging us not to use it in a political way. And we see the effects. We see what happened at the Olympics. When the black man them get up and raise them fists and wear them black glove, we see the political implications and repercussions of those moves. It frightens the white world that black people getting conscious enough now to use the platform that they have to demonstrate and articulate their political positions. Muhammad Ali became one of the early practitioners of using your sporting platform to speak on black and African people's issues politically. So we don't want them and our entertainers and performers hide behind sports and talk about you don't want to mix sports with politics. That is a high level of ignorance. Because what is politics? What's the difference between politics and sports? Sports is a set of social practices and relations that are determined by the culture in which it exists. So the culture helps to determine and define how sports operate. If the culture defines sport as a recreation, then sport remains amateur. And if the culture defines sports as a business, as a profession, as an industry, then sports become what it is, an industry, a site of economic activity. So we are in a position to define how we define sports. And there is no way we should fall into the trap or try to separate politics from sports. And at the Jamaica level, now, we're not talking about politics, meaning party politics. We're talking about governance. Because at the essence, politics is about governance. It's about power sharing. It's about the distribution of power. In every relationship, there's a power. In every relation, there's a politics. So we have to understand football, that by the time the World Cup is finished, once and one have a better appreciation of the sport. And when we see it happening around us locally in Jamaica, at our club and school level, we can see where it is connected at the global level. The thing about support in a place like Jamaica, much of the support to teams are based upon the clubs that individuals find themselves affiliated to. Because it's club football internationally that people know about first before they begin to speak about World Cup teams. And in terms of club football, we know that is the English Premier League, the European League in general, the Bundesliga, the Spanish League, the Italian League. These are the leagues that people in these regions are familiar with. These are where we identify who are going to be stars. And so when the World Cup comes, enough people back teams and countries based upon where their club players come from. So there are a whole lot of different reasons why certain teams are supported. And to just focus on the history of the country and its relationship to the African people and make that be the determinant, it means maybe we wouldn't back no side at all. Because in this present World Cup, if we're going to use that type of historical experience, then none of us should back France. Because the history of France is one of brutality amongst black people. If that is the case, none of us should back Uruguay. We shouldn't really back Croatia. Well, Croatia now is an outgrowth of Yugoslavia. And we don't know much of Yugoslavia's presence in Africa. None of us should really support Belgium if we're going along the lines of history and race and oppression, because the Belgians create genocide in the Congo. And up to today, is a Congolese striker, Lukaku, that the Belgians are depending on. So it caused confliction, because we see the Africans in these teams that belong to these nations that have been racist and oppressive to black people generally. We have the situation of Brazil, where Brazil has its own racist history. And if we really know the racist history of Brazil, none of us wouldn't back Brazil either. So it's very difficult to really condemn supporters of this World Cup because of the rationale that they present that you may differ with. But the consciousness is important. Consciousness. Really, really important in this fora, because being emotional and supportive of a team can't be the end all, because the tournament will end. And when the tournament ends, these teams that you support, can you really get close to these people or even into these countries yourself, or it shouldn't matter? And I'm saying that we must think about these things. Think about how much emotion we invest in these events and what is the return at the end. Does it really worth it? Is it really worth all that investment of our own hard-earned labor to spend so much in this festival of football, and then at the end, we're still broke? So it's not about spoiling the fun, but it's about understanding the greater historical picture, where we risk as black people, how we stand when the tournament is over. The Jamaican dollar is 1 to 130. When the tournament is over, it may be 140. We got to stay alert while we are entertained. Metamorphosis.
change my identity. Musically. So they want time to change my identity. Musically. Some music race, commercial race, political race. Some music race, commercial race, political race. So they want I to change my identity. Musically. So they want I to change my identity. Musically. My identity. Your work must be done. 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 Work in the east, work in the west, work in the north, work in the south, work over there, we work over here, we work everywhere. Work over there, we work over here, we work everywhere. So they want I to change my identity. Musically. So they want I to change my identity. Musically. Identity. Who will stand up for the people? Musically.
Yeah, the Burning Spears reminding us about the importance of identity. And the World Cup brings out that concept of identity to the maximum. The levels of celebration, and the flag waving, and the symbols of a nation are all on display. Now, there's also an element of identity that we speak to when we talk about ethnicity. And ethnicity seems to have a different connotation than race. Because when we look at the World Cup, we know that we can see races of people in a sort of obvious way sometimes. When the races are mixed now, we're having difficulty identifying by observation. But ethnicity now is another issue. And we'll find that in the World Cup in Europe, although the Europeans are 99% Caucasians or more, they are not unified by being Caucasians because they have their differences along the line of ethnicity. The Serbians and the Albanians and the Bosnians and the Croats and all of these ethnic groups have been having wars amongst themselves for centuries. And they have made a great amount of strides to tone down them war vibes. But they say the football tend to wake up some of those ancient wounds of ethnicity amongst the Europeans. There was a point in one match where Serbians, the players, at the end of the match, flash a symbol across them chests, which was a political symbol. And we understand that FIFA took action against them. FIFA also trying to maintain this illusion of separating politics from football. Now, the ethnicity concept, when Africans are told about our ethnic difficulties, them giving the impression that we just basically tribalistic and we are just animalistic and we just war amongst ourselves. And the example used otherwise is Tutsi and Hutsi. Tutsi and Hutu. and how them war and kill each other and how Africans are barbaric. Them not tell you about the ethnic wars them and ethnic cleansing with the Europeans in practice against themselves. They're not telling you about Srebrenica and Bosnia and where thousands of white men kill each other over ethnic differences. But the football brings out emotions because it's a contact sport, and at the level that we're seeing it play now, it's an international conflict. It's an international struggle. And so the passions become intense. Identity becomes crucial. And so we notice about race and ethnicity. And along the lines of race, you have to really wonder what really is the problem with the concept of race first. Because it is very evident that in the realm of sports, it's difficult to separate race from contest and competition. Because each individual have its own racial characteristics and features and history. And it's difficult to separate those elements of an individual when they're in contest. Why do that? Why try to separate the racial history and identity of an individual because they are in competition? I don't get that picture yet. So, identity exposed in the World Cup. And what we see now is that people in Jamaica who are unwilling to claim their African identity by calling themselves Jamaicans must now realize that Jamaican is a national identity. In the same way we have Africans running around in the French team calling themselves Frenchmen. That France that they call themselves is not their race. France is their national identity. Likewise, people in Jamaica running around in Jamaica. Jamaican is the national identity. Your racial identity is your African self, your black self. And the more we become aware of that, is the more we become self-assured. Is the more we become to demonstrate confidence in our own thoughts and in our own actions. So, we see ethnicity, we're seeing identity, we're seeing race. And it's for I and I to observe and to pull from these experiences what is relevant to I. And we have to hold on to the notion of identity. Your racial identity, self-definition. Without racial identity, there's no self-definition. That's the first step in identifying yourself. What is your racial consciousness? What is your racial history? Another level of identity is your gender. So you must have a gender identity and you have to have a racial identity. Foundation. And what creates a trinity in that identity concept now is your name. And the name is so essential that the African black people who have been brought into the Western world, they've had their African names removed. That means that them unbalanced in them identity. Them off balance. Because the identity aspect as related to name is not there. They remove our spirit through our identity and our name. And they give us a Roman Catholic, Roman Christian name as a front name, and they give you the name of the European slave owner. So once you have those two elements as part of your identity, we will always be lost. You know, I was on the bus traveling to the east and sat beside a schoolgirl. This just come up now, you know. It don't relate it, but it have to come out. She went to, she had to go to Happy Grove, and she live in Seaman Valley, I think. Greetings, my sister. I heal up your mother. You say your mother listen to the program, so I hope you're listening. And we had a lot of things saying forth and back before we reach Hector's River. And one of the things then that we were bruising through was the idea of angels. And she said me that she believed in angels. So I asked her if she believed that angels are white. And she said yes. I said, okay. Okay. I'm said to her, all angels are white. She said yes. So I said, but but angels, angels are higher than man, right? And they were made just a little bit lower than God and so forth. She said yes. I'm going to say, you sure you never say any other color angel yet? She said no. So I said, that means angels are above us. She said yes. I said, that means white people are above us. So she said yes. And then she said no. I said, oh, all right, metamorphosis. So I share the observation. The yellow D locked in. I'm saying it's a bird month. Oh, next one. Your one or my own? All right. Yellow Brastress, and she's saying congrats to the St. Anne team. Yeah, man, big congrats, T-God. The national program fight you out for so long. Them say, Borrell, they say one time, you say you chat too much. What I mean in Jamaica is that you're too outspoken. And on this plantation, those who are in governance, whether in sports or politics, they don't like when slaves or descendants of slaves are outspoken. Them tell you, say, you must be seen and not be heard. But my brethren, just go on do it, because it's what you love and you're good at it. T-Gat is one of the men who is an accomplished coach in Jamaica, school and club. An accomplished national player. A man who go far and go play professional ball in the Israeli league, Iman Peter Cargill. One of the reasons them come for Jamaica through the man them start the war in Israel, So very few players have international club experience from that time to this time. But you see, through Jamaica football run on a clique level, and like a clan, brethren, friend. Yeah, talented people don't get a chance to surface. So, may I say Mount Pleasant. What is happening in St. Anne's could have been happening in Portland, because there was a brother in Portland named, him come from a cricket family. His name slipped me now. But he came with the concept of a football academy right here in Port Antonio. He asked me to come in and assist him, which I did. And the brother began to outline the same concept that is now unfolding in St. Anne's. And them get pure fight and resistance in Port Antonio from the Football Association, from those who control Carter Park. The Virgin had a link to Real Madrid. Real Madrid asked us to produce 500 young players. I personally attended meetings with the Virgin at the Pegasus Hotel with links in Cuba. And all the things were being put in place. And it was all rebuffed by Port Antonio administrators. The Virgin had to pick up himself and go to St. Anne's. Well, first he went to St. Mary. And then difficulty, but the Virgin don't want to set up him things outside of Portland, because a Portland man. A Portland man. So we have to congratulate the people in St. Anne's who have the vision and the fortitude to now set up this academy that is youth program. It's under 13 team, has won an international competition over there in, I think they're in Cayman Island. They have been successful. And so the academy now not only has a budding youth program, it now has a Premier League club team. So it is now complete in terms of structure. And it must now develop itself further and further. So big congratulations to St. Anne's. It's a feather in the cap of this Northeast Confederation, but it don't really have nothing to do with Portland, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. You see it? So these three other parishes now still need to wake up and smell the ganja. Yes, coffee. Metamorphosis.
Do you have or are you seeking a place to rent, seeking employment or have a job vacancy? Are you selling a car or having a garage sale? Then come see us. Let Styles do the advertising for you and you'll be on your way in no time. Contact Contact us at 876-286-9216 or 439-5160. Advertising style. Advertise with Styles. For the best quality in sound reinforcement and backlining, Native Audio. We have professional engineers with over 20 years of experience. So call us and we'll take care of your parties, wedding receptions, barbecues, conferences, and small stage shows. Crystal clear sound, Native Audio. Our prices are the best. Call us at 871-5212. That's 871-5212. Native Audio. We make your events audible.
Clifford Guest House, sponsor of Metamorphosis on Monday nights from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight with Dr. Iman Black. Located at 15 Queen Street, Port Antonio, that's Titchfield Hill, they offer accommodations for up to 1 month. Call them at 285-0610 for more information.
Vipi, karibuni katika kipindi cha Dr I MAN BLAK. Kipindi chaitwa Metamorphosis. Jifundishe, elimika na mwelimike.
$453-1444 is the number. World Cup hot. Good night, Grace. All the ones and ones in that state called Atlanta. Did I get it right? Atlanta? Yes, all those in the states of Trumpland and those who are in the further north, Toronto and Calgary and those places. They say hail to all the Canadians and all those who are living in the states of America. Very tribulous times to come to grips with who the I is, not who the I want to be on that plantation called America. You got to get to who the I is. So, yeah, you know, I'm going to hail up Sharon in Sunning Hill, the St. Thomas, which means hailing up all the St. Thomas people, hailing up the crew right there in Hampton Court, Golden Grove, Amityville, Amity Hall, right straight to Port Morant, hail up my winemaker, Mona. Hey, this woman makes some, well, no the type of wine gone out of my head, you know. It soon come to me, a fruit. But it's nice, I soon tell you what name. Yeah, so we end up all the St. Thomas folks. Because fan fusion there. I don't even talk about them things too tough, you know. But fan fusion is on. And most of St. Thomas and St. Anne's and St. Mary will be rolling in. So just line up on yourself and come in, right? Saturday night. It's an event, you know, not a party. It's an event. And I Man Black could be there. Yeah, Metamorphosis rolling on. So the question also thrown out from the very early going, is there a difference between religion and sports? And does God play a role in FIFA's world? Yes. Because in FIFA's world, it's all about domination. And in FIFA's world, man say cheating going on. Yeah, man, say outright cheating. But these decisions are not overturned and they go forward and FIFA world rules on. And I'm saying to African people now, does God operate in FIFA's world? The same God that those Europeans tell us about that is just and fair. Are we seeing the operation of this God now in FIFA's world? Or God only operate in the civil society and the political and economics, but not in the world of football? How would that really go? It's the Europeans who have taught us about this God, And it is also his sports that we are observing. And there are a lot of similarities between sports and religion, like worship. Because in religion there is worship. The heroes are worshipped. Yeah, we have hero worshipping. And in religion there's also worship. Heroes are also worshipped in religion. People worship Jesus as a hero. Some people worship Moses and John as heroes. In the world of sports, you see people praying. Serious amount of prayer for the penalty to score. And the other set of people praying for the penalty to be missed. So, oh Lord God, work this out now. Oh Lord God, work this out. Our Lord God absent. It's a long time I'm on a query this thing as a sportsman and a coach, This thing called divine intervention where you're all politicians calling upon. How come there is none in the world of FIFA? Or is there divine intervention by the VAR now? Is that the Almighty now? Because before VAR, we were told that the referee was God, Yes, unquestionable. No, God gone from the referee now into a machine. Into 3 men sitting in front of the machine. So religion, people worship, people spend a lot of time on them sports. Does the God that they pray to work in the world of sports? The same God them pray to carry them through the night when them go to bed. Because there's gambling in sports. There's violence in sports. There's scamming, all sort of crookedness in the world of FIFA. And yet, everybody blessing themselves with the sign of the cross and pointing to the sky when they do something good. So, it's a time for examination. It's a time for reflection onto the things that they teach us. Hero worshipping, to the extent we're in a team of a man on it, and that man becomes the hero. They call him the star. And they define this star as the greatest footballer the world has ever seen. And a lot of people accept that type of media output, media projection. And then now when the star fail, we don't hear nothing about the devil. We don't hear say is Satan cause that. So Satan is not a part of FIFA's world, and neither is God. So apparently, the other worlds, the political and the civil, are the worlds in which God and the devil reign. But up to today, and somebody call and tell me evidence. Where in the world of FIFA does God and the devil operate? And yet it's human beings running it. How is that possible? How is that possible? Are we so foolish that we accept God in one world and God is not in the other world? Yet God is the creator of all things. We have to examine our own ideas. We have to examine the ideas that they have given to us. We have to look at what FIFA's world has allowed us to look at. Because remember now, FIFA's world is a world unto itself. It has its own governance, its own laws, its own finances. FIFA can't broke. Government's bankrupt. FIFA can't come close to bankruptcy. It is the world's largest government, and it has its own laws, and it has its own jurisdiction. And apparently there is no God, and there is no devil in FIFA's world. So, the other worlds that the God and the devil exist in, those worlds we know are real. Perhaps God and the devil are the illusions. Metamorphosis.
We are the slave descendants from the African race. We're proud, it's no disgrace.
Of course, hail up Winsome in St. Thomas, and hail up all those who come from the Pear Tree River crew. The only thing wrong with this message is that you spell black wrong. Because this black have no C in it. This black has no lock. So it's B-L-A-K. Winsome, don't lose all. So D is your birth month. Yes. July. And you know that because July 23rd is the birth of His Imperial Majesty, the reason we'll continue the next program about the Book of Revelations and how does the Lion of Judah play a role in the consciousness of African people, black people, Rastafari people within this July celebrations. So many people, December 25 is their important day because they think that that is the day that the Jesus was born. Rastaman celebrate July 23rd because we know that is the day His Majesty emerged as Rastafari. So all those things will be going on, and by that time the World Cup will have ended and we will have to face in the reality of being black again.
From the African race, we're proud, it's no disgrace. For a drink of wine so they could drink and be merry.
Now, a stadium, when we're looking at these games being played in that arena, there are similarities between a stadium, and a church. But I must say, I would have man really deal with. Yes, similarities between a stadium and a church. Think about it for a while. What takes place in the stadium, what takes place in the church. And you know that faith, they tell you in certain doctrines, move mountains. And when teams are down, like today's match with the Belgians versus the Japanese, with seconds to play or minutes to play, it requires a tremendous amount of faith in what you are doing to get that result, Absolute faith and conviction. Nobody must waver in those moments to get that result. The stadium also has what you call an atmosphere. An atmosphere. A church has an atmosphere. Because when people attend a building or go into a certain space continuously over years and for the same rituals, because rituals occur in the stadium, rituals occur in the church, rituals meaning things that take place even before the game. All of those ceremonies and meetings and handshaking and flipping of that and flipping of that. All of these are rituals that occur in the stadium. Rituals happening in the church. Them bless this and them say this and them sing that and them singing goes on in the stadium. So a lot of the events and the activities in a church, we find them happening in the stadium. And if you enter a church, when the church is empty, when there's no persons in the building, when you enter the church, there's a vibration because the building holds the energies of the people. So if people keep attending the building for year in, year out, the same ritual, the same song, the music, the building begins to hold the memories and the vibrations. So when you step into the building, you feel the vibes. It's the same thing with a stadium. You step into the stadium, you feel the energy, you feel the vibrations of the history of the stadium. So there are close relationships between religion and sports. And the differences are very small, and the similarities are great. And so the European analyst and philosopher, Karl Marx, did remark that sports was like an opium of the masses. It's like a drug, where it kept the people dazed, while the politicians would manipulate the economics and the politics and do the shenanigans without the people paying attention. So, religion and sports, something we need to query for our own knowledge of ourselves. Because people are praying before the penalty take. And there's a man praying for the penalty save. So who and what is it that receives these prayers? And when is it that the ball at the goalpost and come out? Or the ball at the goalpost and go in? Is that luck? And whose luck is that? Because there is bad luck and there is good luck. What defines whether luck goes your way or whether it does not? You see? So there are some issues that we can examine as we're looking at something called sports. Because sport is an integral part of society. In some societies, they say sports provides a certain function. They call it a functional use. In other words, just like we have education and the military and marriage, and you have these various institutions and bodies, some societies view sport as such, as an institution. But then if you also examine sports, you also see how the society is organized. And you sometimes can see the inequalities in the society by looking at the sports. So discrimination is an element that shows up in sports. And in discrimination, it can be racial, it can be religious, it can be gender, it can be discrimination along class and education, all kind of levels. In the Jamaican sports now, it is a Rasta man who feels the greatest level of discrimination. Not just in sports, but in all other aspects of the society. So you can look into what's happening in the sports and see replicas of these things in other areas. The World Cup is not over yet. It's coming down to 8 teams. Giants now in the world. And these teams use, the leadership of these countries now use these results to boost up the psyche of their country. It's like when you win medals at the Olympics. Teams use the number of medals to define how great their society is, how functional they are. The World Cup now is the big prize. And the Russians have a serious eye on this prize as the home side. And I tell you them, any other Russian them get knocked out, riot in a Moscow. I just me when I say that still, and we hope not. Metamorphosis. Climate hot up to this football thing. But it's exposing Jamaica, do you know? It's really exposing us in some ways that I find it very amusing. And I hear people who are far away from football, disconnected from sports, making some of the most remarkable comments. Some of the most astute remarks are coming from people who are not associated with football at all. And I hear my brethren, Muta, ask openly, is it true that Jamaica has the most football experts in the world? And I read on the Facebook page another brethren, Dr. Semaj, asking, when I'm saying that he seems to be the only Jamaican that is not a football expert. And I tell you, I just try to be quiet most of the time because everybody in Jamaica is an expert now. And so the question was being asked, how is it Jamaican football is so backwards? When the World Cup come, we have so many experts here. How is it Jamaican football is so backward? Maybe it's because we have too many experts here. And we have some man saying some things. Not only are they absurd, them saying it from some positions of influence. So it's not like them up on the corner, I just tell you what them feel like. They might tell you what them feel like from the television position and from the radio and the media. So we are overwhelmed in Jamaica with a plethora of experts at football. Now, those who really understand the game try not to say much because you're going to run into a whole heap of confrontation out on the streets. Because people are observing the game primarily through their emotions. And once it becomes an emotional observation, there is no room for reasoning and discussion about a game that is based upon a science. And the game has been based upon science from the Europeans, set it up from the early 1900s as a scientific approach. And you approach it scientifically in your physical preparation, you approach it scientifically in your mental preparation, and you approach it scientifically in all aspects. So to be emotional about how you approach football now hardly brings victory. Oftentimes it brings pure grief and pure pain because it has not been thought out. So we have an issue in Jamaica ever since. And this issue revolves around a concept called style. Style of play. And you hear people on television now talking that, you know, Jamaica must develop their own style of play. And England have their style, and the French have their style, and the Dutch have their style, and Jamaican football must get its own style. And all of these people on the television and the radio talking these things. These are some armchair coaches and some textbook analysts who oftentimes never even kick a ball from them born. And the man never even kicked them yet, if you know how the thing really feel. But here's the thing about style now. Let's go into semi piece and seal it at that, because they are the experts. But like boxing, there are certain ways you can approach a boxing match. And we're going to call these ways styles. There's also Stylzfm, you know. But we're not talking about that styles, you know. We're talking about approach to play. Now, if you are not a hard puncher and you're not an outstanding attacking boxer, but you are a good fighter, then your style would fit your characteristics. So in other words, now, you would adopt a defensive style. Defensive style doesn't mean you don't attack, but your primary objective is to not get beat up. So you defend often. But you can't win by just simply defending. You win by attacking. So the boxer now, who is a defensive boxer, he will try to win by becoming a counter-attacking boxer. So his style would be counter-attacking. So the obviously opposite of that is a boxer who just goes full out, and he must go for the knockout from the referee said go. Everything is full blast. And that is his style. You have a style where it's a mixture between strong attacking boxing, strong defensive boxing, and a mixture of counter-attacking. In other words, no, style is not something you just adapt so. You have to have a range and an ability to adapt based upon the opposition. In today's game, meaning the world, not today's game today, but in the 21st century, how the game is played is a different game than in the 20th century. When the Brazilians ruled the roost from 1958 to 1970, all countries in the world tried to play the Brazilian style. All countries in the world approached the game tactically the way the Brazilians did. All countries tried to use the same formation. And the Brazilian style came out of their culture. The climate had a lot to do with how the Brazilians play and their approach to play, driven by a lot of individualism and small combinations. All right, so that's getting too technical. So the Brazilian style dominated the world from 1958 to 1970. The Brazilians were dethroned in 1974. Now, a country like Jamaica, like many other countries, were fully cloned to Brazilian football. We had a club called Santos that imitated Santos in Brazil. We were Brazilians. We play Brazilian football according to us. We're more Brazilians than the Brazilians. The same way people in Barbados were more British than the English. And this style of play found its last supremacy in 1970. And after that, that style died because the Europeans created a different style of approach to play that negated the Brazilians' strength, which was their midfield. And so the battle now for football was no longer simply between teams who played like Brazil and teams who didn't, but it was a matter of teams who could now control the midfield. The Brazilian football was built upon two link men because the formation was 4-2-4. 4 men in the back, 2 men in the middle, and 4 men up front. And by 1974, the Europeans challenged that formation by dropping a third man in the midfield and play with one less man on the front line. And that tilt the balance in control of the game, where the 3-man midfield would begin to dominate the 2-man midfield. And from 1974 onward to 2000, Brazil would never see the World Cup Final 2 again. Because the European style of play and approach became what was dominant. The South American players realized that this Brazilian style of football was not carrying anymore. And the Argentinians moved to establish their own style. So with Diego Maradona, the football became the Argentinian way of demonstrating themselves. And critically, South American players now began to go into Europe to learn, to play football with some European understanding. The Brazilians sent club players in the 80s. The Argentinians had club players playing in Italy. The Brazilians were playing in Europe, because that is where the football has its genesis and has its evolution and has its science. So this Brazilian coach has confessed that he has spent the last 2 years studying the philosophy of European football. So in Jamaica now, because Brazilians have done the research and changed their football, it doesn't happen in Jamaica. We are still stuck on Brazil from 1970. We're still stuck on that. So when we sent for Simões in 94, Simões came and did a Brazilian thing in 4 years, and Simões left. And we have been trying to hold on to the memory of Brazilian football, not realizing that the Brazilian football has evolved. And it has evolved to the point now where they are now a strong defensive unit, which was absent in the 1970s. Brazilian football never even developed a goalkeeper up until the 1970s, because a goalkeeper wasn't even needed. Because once the Brazilians gain possession of the ball, the next place you'd find the ball would be in the back of the opponent's net. So Brazil has never produced an international coach of any great recognition that has dominated world football. There's no great Brazilian coach in Europe. There's no great Brazilian manager. What Brazil has produced are players. But this Brazilian coach has taken the time out to study the philosophy and the psychology and the science of how Europeans approach this World Cup. And he has got the Brazilian players and he's got the Brazilian nation moving with an additional philosophy to the Brazilian flair. It's called European defensive discipline. So the philosophy of the 70s of the Brazilian was about possession. They came up with the idea that if they have the ball, the next team can't score. That is true. But there's a negative philosophy attached to that. Because having the ball doesn't mean that you will score either. So Jamaica, like many other teams who imitate Brazil, held on to this concept of possession. So Simowitz came with his pass counting thing, and him started count passes too. So we started making 300 passes, 400 passes in a game, but guess what happened? No shots at goal. So possession now became an obsession. And the Europeans realized that from the 70s that possession doesn't bring goals. Possession gives you the ball, but it doesn't bring shots on the goal. And so we're seeing today, a team like Spain could make 2,000 passes in a match and lose because they have not taken the amount of shots to the goal to produce the goals. So Jamaican coaches have vibrations coming from the 70s. I tell you, say, just keep the ball. They could just keep it. So they keep it, and you keep it. And as soon as you lose it, the man them score. And you keep it and keep it, and you keep it. And then one time you lose it, the man them score. And when the game done, you hear the coach them say, boy, we ball the man them. I used to laugh consistently. We ball the man them. How you go, boy? Them purpose of one love. Come in.
Yeah.
Greetings.
Yeah, doctor.
Yes, I.
Yeah, well, doctor,
Yes.
you hear me?
Yeah, man, I'm hearing you, loud and clear.
Yeah, one quick question.
Yeah, man, go through.
Me, I wonder if the eye, same?
Yeah.
It's with Brazil team or against them?
If I with them or against them?
Or against them?
No, man, I'm not against them. But me, I watch them.
Oh, you're not against them?
No, man, I'm watching them. Because they represent a whole heap of things that I admire.
Oh, okay. Go for it, because two of them come in here now and I don't know where it start from. So I try find out, you know, cause
but guess what happened now?
we Jamaicans, you know.
Come again.
Yeah, we know so we Jamaicans said Brazil from where you to come up.
I know that. I will tell you about myself first.
Pele was, to me, one of the greatest of all time.
Yes. I man know of that era, but guess what happened to me now? You see when Pele retired? You see when Pele retired in 1970? Brazil football come to a standstill, you know.
Okay. Well, so counter-cuff never continue or it continued from that?
Say it again.
No, it's from Pele retired.
Yeah, I'm saying the Brazilian football, they come to a standstill.
Okay.
And for 24 years, we couldn't find Brazil again at the final. Right? The eyes there?
No, but I think it's still Brazil.
No, man, I mean at the final two. We don't mean at the competition. I mean in the final two.
Yeah, because I see them win couple finals since even the America for the 20 odd years in the America.
Right. But what I'm saying today, I know, from 1970, it's 24 years before them touch a cup again, you know. You hear me?
Yeah.
So in that 24 years now, the football wasn't really being dominated by the Brazilians. It's more like the Argentinians and the Europeans.
Okay.
Right? And eventually the Brazilians them catch up again. Because the players them start go to Europe and learn to play the football or the Europeans play too. And put that style now on the Brazilian style.
No, but see the European thing, the more thing, they talking about the club ball of them now, and them, the big ball of them gone home, club ball of them, you know. Cause money thing that is, you know.
Yes. It's a business.
It becomes a business, no, you're right.
Yeah, man, it's business all the while. So what I'm saying to you now, in Brazil has rebounded. Can you remember now, you know, as much as we love Brazil and the thing, football evolve, you know. Yeah. And I think that now they have done them homework over the last 30 years. And I think they're ready again to seriously challenge. Because look, you know, the last tournament, them get 10 goals, not too much, you know. So they have to wipe off that slate in this tournament.
Yeah.
I think that is the mission more than anything else.
Yeah, I see you now, Doctor. That was my question to me, just jump on the
Yeah, man, we give thanks, man. We give thanks.
Go ahead, then, Doctor.
We give thanks for the link.
Me to give them my picks, you know.
Yes.
So, that's on my head there right now. Me love the Africans, them still, you know.
All right. You see what I mean?
Yeah, me love Pacific, the boy.
Yeah,
the
continent not ready yet to challenge Europe and South America. It's not ready yet. You know?
Yeah.
After Brazil fall off in 74, from this on me saw when Brazil fall off in 74, from this on me saw back Africa every World Cup.
Okay.
You understand?
I get you.
Yeah.
You have to listen. Come here, listen carefully.
Yeah, man, that is great.
Program later. Fire us, you know.
All right, fire us. All right.
Manners and respect, you know, Doctor.
Yes, my brethren. Give thanks.
All right, all the time.
Highly.
Naked food. You think you are cool to deny me for simplicity. Yes, you are gone for so long with your love for vanity now. Yes, you have got the wrong interpretation, mixed up with vain imagination. So take your sun and your moon and your rain and your stars and forever, yes, erase your fantasy, yeah. The lips of the righteous teach me, but fools die for want of wisdom. The rich man went is illicit, yeah. The righteous went is in this holy place. So take your sun and your moon and your rain and your stars and forever, yes, erase your fantasy. Destruction of the poor is in the poverty. Destruction of the soul is vanity, yeah. So stiff-necked fools, you think you are cool to deny me for simplicity. Yes, you have gone for so long with your love for vanity now. I don't wanna rule ya.
Yeah, the football thing, I think is very, very exciting. Yeah, even if you don't love football, the drama alone will make your heart string boss. This is not something for the weak-hearted, you know. And this is why coaches get grey ears. 90% of what I have as grey is football cause it. Yeah. May I tell you I them. The level of stress. Because remember now, you know, you as a coach, you're not playing, you know, and you can't go up on the field and do nothing about what you see going on out there, you know. So it all to go on in your brain. And it draw you down, you know. May I tell you I them, man, it really, really grey you up fast. And one would not understand the pressure that a coach undergoes at this level and why the remuneration have to be so great, because you take the person away from their family life. And away from that family life now, you create a new family for the coach with the team. The team now becomes the man's family. And his biological family get literally cut off because they don't become a distraction to the work. It's not an easy work. Not an easy task when you see football and the coaches involved and the managing men with different personalities and forcing them to cooperate and to drop some egos and to work for the betterment of the unit and to sacrifice self. And you see the Brazilians, they might block some ball in the defense now. Some things where traditionally Brazilians would never do. But this coach has realized the importance of consistent, solid defending, not just from the back, but from the middle. From the middle. Because the Brazilians once had a concept that link men just distribute and pass and look nice, and them always come off neat. And Jamaica used to adapt that principle. So our link man, them wouldn't run, lack conditioning, can't tackle, can't head, but them can trap and dribble and pass. Those days are gone. Long gone. It's about industry. It's about speed. It's about technique. And the nations that can operate at the highest level, at the highest speed, will get the best results. Now, it's a team game, you know, but there are eyes in it. Them I will tell you why TEAM is the word team, and TEAM means together, everybody achieves more. That's supposed to be the acronym for team. Together, everybody achieves more. TEAM. And they try to tell you that there's no I in team. But I tell you the I them. There's eyes in every team, and oftentimes it's an I have to rise up to make the team prosper. Yeah. So sometimes it takes an I or two in the team that are genius, that can rise above the expectations of the individual and produce what is considered to be super. And so we have expectations of these heroes now and footballers to be superstars, produce super results. So the superstars have failed to date, except one. Well, so far, out of the 8 teams, 6 teams in the group of 8, 1 star has remained in the Brazilian unit. All the other stars have gone. Messi is home, Ronaldo is home, Müller is home, Iniesta is home. Spain, Germany, Portugal, Argentina. The teams with the big name stars are gone home. And what it does is make space for new stars to be born. That's how the FIFA's world work. That's how the world of sports work. And what we see now is younger players, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds coming to the forefront. In a place like Jamaica, there are players who are playing in the World Cup who could not make a Jamaica side because we going to tell you so that man is too old. There are teams with Russian have a man, they call him the grandfather. He must be about 35. Teams with players who are 32 years old, etc. Those players would not get a game in Jamaica because we fight them out on ageism. We use age and fight out our sportsmen. We did that in the cricket team, and we force our senior players to retire even when they're at a good high level in their sport. So we kill ourselves, you know. We here, particularly in Jamaica, we kill ourselves. And then again, you look at the Nigerian team with a 19-year-old goalkeeper at the World Cup. There is no 19-year-old playing even what we call Premier League here, because we claim so that is a Premier League. Eh? A 19-year-old playing the World Cup. And in Jamaica, a 19-year-old is stuck in a high school here. So we don't have nowhere for going on. We are just in a backway slide here with no leadership. All we have is some men dressed up in jacket and tie and posing and going on airplane and taking FIFA money and going all around the place. And you look at the football in the country, it's gone beyond stagnation. So we don't know if this island ready for anything serious again. I have my strong doubts as time goes forward. We're really a country of athletics. And if we don't care, we'll mash up that, because we're good at destroying what is very good, you know. Yeah, our leadership here is excellent at transforming great to making it become mediocre. Other places turn mediocrity into greatness. And as I talk about greatness now, the title of the greatest player in the world always surfaced during the World Cup. And anybody who telling me today about Messi and Ronaldo don't have no knowledge of world history as it relates to FIFA's world and football. I'm going to call the name of a player who's greater than Messi and greater than Ronaldo and is not greater than Pele. Yeah, I'm telling you about a baller. Greater than Ronaldo and greater than Messi, but still a notch below the king. That is the man from Holland called Johan Cruyff. Anything you know about football, and through so much YouTube exists, and you go look up Cruyff. Cruyff. The Dutch maestro. The man who bring the football from Holland into Spain. Yeah, man. That man great at World Cup level, great at club level. European Player of the Year. Look here, Messi can't walk in Johan Cruyff shoes. Me, I said that. And who want to dispute that, go right ahead, because that's why we have opinions in sports. I am saying Johan Cruyff is greater than both Ronaldo and Messi. And is one step above Franz Beckenbauer and 2 steps behind King Pele. Metamorphosis. Jamaican people here now flying flags of foreign countries. And this is supposed to be a sign of support. Great. Now, let us reflect on when we had a chance to fly our own flag. Remember 1998? 1998. This is 2018. So we're talking about 20 years ago. 20 years, 2 decades ago, we had a chance to fly the flag. And not only did we fly the black, green, and gold, we had a chance to fly the ice, green, and gold. But the ice, green, and gold really represented Jamaica more than the black, green, and the gold, you know. Because the world did know Jamaica through Rastafari and through the music. It's because of those elements of our culture why the world did know of the world, why the world did know of Jamaica. And those things were added now to the football, why the team became the Reggae Boys. And it's African inspiration that gave the Jamaican team that name. It's not Jamaicans called themselves Reggae Boys. It's the Zambians. Jamaican team made a visit to Zambia, and the Zambians say, here come the Reggae Boys, because the only one thing they knew about Jamaica was reggae and Rastafari and Bob Marley and the whole tradition of black culture through those lenses. So 1998 was probably the highest point of Jamaican unity ever. Ever. People think that 1962 was comparable when the British take down them flag and leave here physically and you know what has remained. Some people think that even Emancipation Day, 1834, was also as great a day as November 1998. So, Jamaica now, 20 years ago on this high platform, ranked in the top 32 teams in the world. And everybody exhibiting national pride. Everybody demonstrating Jamaican culture. All the musicians could come out. We carried Jamaican culture right into France. Entertainers, Toots, Shaggy, everybody, Jamaica on display. The African consciousness emerging through the World Cup football. And watch this now. 20 years ago, you know, when Jamaica qualified, we were in the first round. Now you understand the group play. And in the Jamaica group, you know, were 4 teams. Jamaica, Argentina, Croatia, and Japan. 20 years ago. No. So we can rewind 20 years ago and see Jamaica in the group. First match against Croatia, Jamaica scored first. And because of our excitement and lack of knowledge about these great events, our commentators and pundits say Croatia dead. Because Jamaica going to kill them. We're going 1-0. Well, we know the game ended up 3-1. Easy victory. The second game was against Argentina. Powerhouse. Batistuta. Simoes get covered that match. And was, in my opinion, protecting the Argentinian team. And he protect the team by removing Onandelo from Superback to make sure so Batistuta don't get a beaten. That is South American affinity. We get 5-0 from Argentina. And in the final match, that was of mathematical importance. Jamaica find a victory. And who do you think Jamaica defeat? Japan. 2-1. So from that one game now, we have a World Cup hero, a 2-goal World Cup hero in Whitmore. And we have Bibi Gardner who played a good square cross to Robbie Earl to score. And we have those as our memories that we hold on to. 20 years later, Japan is now making its 5th appearance. Japan has been to 5 World Cups since 1998. And they've been to the round of 16 3 times. The Japanese. The Croatians. Where are they now? They are also now in the group of 8. The Argentinians got knocked out in the last round. Where is Jamaica? So in other words, 20 years ago, we were rubbing shoulders with those four nations. And 20 years later, we can't even get out of the Caribbean. And those teams that we competed against, like Japan, is now a force to be reckoned with on the world stage. Consistently. They shall now represent Asia as a powerhouse in Asia. They have also developed what they call a J-League that have attracted the great players from around the world. In other words, now the Japanese went into investment mode. And they began to invest in world-class football, and they now have a result. Croatia, of course, have always produced international sportsmen coming out of Yugoslavia. And they have now, 20 years later, come back with a greater fury. The Argentinians, running on memory, run out of steam. But where is Jamaica? 20 years later, where is Jamaican football? Where is the leadership? Should we just leave it alone then and just concentrate on athletics? 20 years later, there's no new football field. There are no newly trained coaches who have spent time in Europe learning the game over the last 20 years. So how can we advance football without coaches? Mystery. Mystery.
For complete auto repairs and services, come to Akon Auto Technology, located at 33 Bumble Crescent, Port Antonio, Jamaica. We offer specialist services in wheel alignment and wheel balancing, brake drum and disc rotary servicing, state-of-the-art ultrasonic cleaning and testing of your fuel injectors. We also stock an assorted range of auto service parts, tires, and motorcraft batteries. If we don't have it, we will source it for you. Call us at 876-715-5205 or email akonautotech16@gmail.com. Akon Auto Technology, beyond the typical auto mechanic shop.
Planning a party, club night out, stage show, a gospel concert, or even a business sales event? Let Stylzfm be a part of your promoting tool. Take advantage of our low-priced promotion packages with commercials, interviews, giveaways, reviews, and much more. We have special offers when you mix and match and bundle your options. Contact us at 876-286-9216 or 439-5160. Stylzfm for the most effective way to exploit your marketing dollar.
Architects, draftsmen, and surveyors, get your drawings printed in high-quality professional standards. We can satisfy your printing needs. Whether it is for presentation to your clients or for submitting building and subdivision application, make it VJ Printing Services. Whether drawing by hand or with computer-aided softwares, we will plot your negatives and print the copies as you need. We do high-quality white paper printing that is water-resistant and never fades, unlike traditional blueprint. For more information, call VJ Printing at 893-2266.
Clifford Guest House, sponsor of Metamorphosis on Monday nights from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight with Dr. Iman Black. Located at 15 Queen Street, Port Antonio, that's Titchfield Hill, they offer accommodations for up to 1 month. Call them at 285-0610 for more information.
Who will win this World Cup? Who will eventually win this massive World War? There's a match coming up on tomorrow's agenda. Final of the group of 16. 2 Europeans meet, Sweden and Switzerland. One of them will advance. Matters not to I. In the other match now, is of to Iman greater interest. It is Colombia versus All England. And I will obviously Harry Kane go home and all those little men and boys behind him. And they must wheel and come again. I know that England football is not the same as what we see when we watch the English Premier League. English Premier League is not a reflection of English football. English Premier League is a reflection of international club soccer, where the best players in the world gather to play in that league because the money is big there. But England by itself doesn't have any great amount of players in that league. So England now trying to rebuild them image around a man called Harry Kane, claiming that he's a great striker and all of this and all of that. Well, he'll have established that, and English will have to prove that they are international football when they meet Colombia come tomorrow. There are some black players in England, and English society has realized that it's good to have some black players now to get a greater amount of support and speed and pace in their team. So they have drawn for that, and because of that now, there are a lot of black British who have now lined up behind the England team. Oh, jolly old England. Well, I'm saying in there, England football is still outdated. The greatest difference is that they have now drawn up on young players. England has realized that they can't build them national team from club football. They must build their national team from their under-20 program. Yeah, jolly old England just realized that. This is a country that football was always based upon clubs. But their club standard has fallen so low that they must now draw on their youths coming through on under-20 international programs. It's the same template that a country like Jamaica should be using from the longest time. But we have been trying to mimic Europe without having European resources. We have been trying to mimic Europe without having infrastructure like Europe. And so what we have is washed out football with individual players escaping to bigger leagues, but the nation football can't move. So for the next couple of days now, leading up to the end of this tournament, the French looking very, very dangerous as a African representation. The Brazilians have a critical real first match to test them against the Belgians. Because this is where the World Cup really hot up. So Brazil versus Belgium could perhaps be maybe one of the best games of the entire tournament. And the winner of this could actually be the World Cup winners, if you disagree with Cassidy. Cassidy said no matter how it goes, it's France. Yeah. So people now have to begin to commit themselves. It's coming down to the nitty-gritty. And I'm not saying nothing yet because my sentiments are black. So you see where the blackness is, and that's my day. I don't so. I just am reaching on myself. Yes, I'm going to want to watch it. But I tell you, them, watch the Friday match. And that match could be a match for all times that you're going to look back on over and over again. So Jamaica, people, we have to start make some demands on our football leaders now, because they are the politicians of football, the politicians, decision makers, those who sway with the power within the game itself. The JFF in Jamaica are the representatives for FIFA right here. And FIFA have a concept of the football becoming global and more democratic, etc., etc. FIFA pumps a lot of money into into countries that are part of its federation, its association. And this World Cup is what brings the money, and at the end of the World Cup, money is distributed right around the globe. All countries get involved in FIFA's projects, and so money is spent. FIFA run the world, It's FIFA run the world. People don't know that. Them think it's politics. But between sports and the military, those are the forces that govern things in the world. And if you notice now, the players are paid some ridiculous money And where does all this money come from? I am saying it comes from some industries that are connected to sports. Oftentimes they are not legal. Because the monies that come into sports can't come through regular 9-to-5 working. Not the millions and millions that these players gather per week. Players are paid phenomenal money. Not just in football, basketball, baseball, professional sports. And these world of sports never seem to experience any bankruptcy or any fall in currency. So we're really living in different worlds. And we just want to become conscious of ourselves when we're talking about the world coming to an end. Which world? Is it the Islamic world or is it the world of FIFA? Is it the world of the Olympics? Is it the animal world? There are too many worlds out there to be confused. That people who are of African descent thinking that the world will end and therefore they must save their souls. You ever hear that phrase about what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and to lose his soul? Me say I question that now, you know, because there must be some value in gaining the world. Yeah, I am saying Africans need to gain the world. Because if we are going to lose the world to keep our soul, what is that soul we're keeping? What that? What that have to do with the land and the minerals and the development of our intelligence? Make us think about the world. Yeah, and make the soul thing go on a little bit and see if we can transform our lives when we begin to think about the world. You know what I tell you about? What does it profit a man to gain the whole world? What does it profit? It profited family and your generation, as far as I can see. And the soul thing, we can do without. Think about it. Metamorphosis. Say the man them want nail up Neymar. Them say fall down too much.
Well, must understand your man is just a man. Don't you judge him for his ways and flaws. No, speak of love tomorrow. You'll be doing good, my brother. You're working for the greatest cause. He without sin made know the first
First he was Messi upon the cross. Now it's Neymar upon the cross. But I will tell you, we love crucify money. But you see, if you put up yourself as a star, you put yourself in a position to be crucified. So there are those who hate Brazil with a passion. I don't know where people get these emotional energies from, you know. And why we can't put some of these emotional energies into some constructive African consciousness. Yeah, I hear people hating and hate. Me not have the energy for hating, you know. I don't. Maybe I'm deficient. Maybe I'm deficient in hatred. And I kind of feel alright with that. But make a balance yourself, you know, emotionally, as it relates to this World Cup. It will be over in another couple of days. And we have the real world to focus on. Make a abstract from the World Cup what are hopeful and promising to carry yourself forward as an individual. So, this concept of haters, I don't even know, just where did that rise up, you know? How can someone be a hater? What, I mean, me find it difficult to wrap them kind of ideas around my brain, you know? But maybe try brain too small, and those are big ideas. But we could try to be less objective, less emotional, and more objective as we observe these struggles between these nations and races and classes of people. It says Europe versus South America. There are no black countries in Europe, but there are a lot of black players representing European teams. There are no European teams in South America. There are a lot of African players representing South American nations. So we have to learn how to observe what is going on and know where we are as a people and where you are as an individual as you watch a spectacle, and still be entertained, but be conscious. Be conscious while being entertained. Because like I say, very few people would support South Africa in the world of cricket. Very few black people would do that. But you still have some who would, for whatever reasons they choose. And to them it's alright because it's just a team. But then team goes into the concept of the nation and the country. And you can't separate the country from its activities or its atrocities. We bear those things in mind as we observe the world war coming down to its climax. Will it be an ultimate battle between one South American team and one European? Will it be a battle between two European teams? Or will it go against the grain and have two South American teams battle for the championship in Europe? And finally, will the Russians force their way through VAR and Putin's resources into the final? There is much to observe. Watch the politics, watch the psychology, watch the racial struggles, watch the money. Look around the play field, all advertisements. Viva, Coca-Cola, all of these major companies making them killing now. Be observant, be conscious, and enjoy.
Now watch no face, beg no more pardon. Enough drugs, money they a cherry garden. Enough individual society applauding. You can ask anybody where them get them starting. But no politician take a donation. So no criminal will never see a station. Never see a cell, not even a courthouse. But every Sunday we see them take a boat out. North Coast Resort and car dealership. The construction company, them just don't legit. Usually wash the money, turn it round and hide it. When the kickback them come in, the government delighted. So police cancel operation, cause no real bad man a go station. Now if you check the situation, a blood money running nation. Come take a look in a Jamaica. Injustice in the place now. If what you see no really face you, then you are the problem problem what we face though. Was about to buy your next 60 now. Maybe then I never have to be a prisoner. Maybe then I coulda not turned in my firearm. Police couldn't come remand, come me like me run an army. Hey. Was about to be a politician too. Maybe then I coulda make any decision. Look, maybe then I make 100 million disappear. Then me act like me no care what you bought me back in there. Hey. Because this sad reality. In a Jamaica say your status or your salary. Man, the road I carry one whole heap of felony. But them have a family, a boost up the economy. So, police cancel operation. Cause no real bad man a go station. Hey, now if you check his situation, a blood money running nation. Hey, come take a look in a Jamaica.
Yeah, we have to look in Jamaica consistently, you know. And as much as the World Cup bouncing around the world, we have some serious issues going on in a place called Petro Jam. Yeah, all of a sudden we hear enough money leak out and going to friends and company, a thing they call nepotism, another ism, you know. All isms are basically negative, you know. A lot of the isms, that's why Rastafari never ever attach itself as no ism. Our Europeans and scholars and academics try to talk about Rastafariism. A long time I burn out them ism there. And we burn out schism. Because we're promoting a type of unity. So there's no Rastafariism. And I have to tell a woman where they know, she shout, hey Ras, hey Ras, hey Ras. I have to ask her if a bad old chakos. I say, call me in my fullness, man. Yeah, shut me up. So what I mean? I say Rastafari. She say Rastafari. I say, that never so hard. But the other one shot. I say, yeah, but me tall. Me don't shot. I don't want you call me, you know, shut up with you like a little style. And just get a kind of way, I'm have to tone her down and say, look, man, I really race you up, you know. But if you see me, you want to shout me. Nobody with a rasting, because I don't know what you mean. Me here nowadays, man, I talk about them, I go ras. Me don't know what they mean, you know. I don't know what they mean. I get the feeling, say, they might try to tell me, say, they must have got a barber. Well, if that's what ras is, I know that. That is not Rastafari, that's about not going to the barber. That whole concept come from overstanding the vow of the Nazarite and the separation from Rome as a spiritual movement. So all of this modern thing in Jamaica know about Ras and Ras. Nobody see me and Ras me up, you know, because you know I get no response. Say Rastafari. But no people can't say that, because them quaking in them heart. And those who say them are Ras, I talk about them are Rasta in them heart, and them heart not up. His heart attack you bring upon yourself. So just know yourself consciously who you are, and don't bother mimic and project that mimicry on another one. So you see, I just see Rastafari. If you can't say that, don't say nothing. Nobody come Rasta up. Like say me or some kind of doormat where you just come style up. It's not a fashion. It's a culture. Bushman say it, you know. I never run a Bushman tonight, but that's so. Yes, Rastafari is a tradition. It's not a religion.
I'm way up. 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 Contraband, is it the master plan? Contraband, it's taking up the farmer's land. Contraband, how it pass the border scan. Contraband, I end up in your data. Contraband, now what's in that recipe? Contraband, that giving me this stress relief. Contraband, sell more than rice and peas. Contraband, feels so damn good to me. Well now this fucking dog sniffing me. Pray to Jah didn't leave a one cliff on me. If they found one, they'd surely move swift on me. Family and friends would surely be missing me. Meanwhile, gang is having that epiphany. I'm being searched by a squad named Tiffany. The way she gird me, my something gets stiff on me. Still my slide through smooth like the shift on me. I'll stare down.
Where I said Jamaica talk football. Yes, we are excellent at talking football. If only talk could have make football fields appear and players do the right thing and coaches do the right thing. We are excellent at talking. I agree, Cyril. This is a man out of St. Thomas. Here up our St. Thomas technical crew and staff and students. Yes, Iman Blak's a peace.
To come, 'cause my heart is willing and my spirit is strong. You know, she said that I column this, foundation this, I real rock this, and them can't match this. She said I column this, foundation this, I real rock this, no them can't match this. It was a fool who built up on sand.
Anybody who beat the Brazilians will take away the cup this year. Anybody beat the Brazilians will win the cup. First attempt at winning the cup from Belgium. First threat. Friday. Real war is on. So make we watch it and be entertained. And we don't mind the overtime, 30 minutes more, because we're not playing. More entertainment. High level ball. High technical, high science, nice football. So we'll watch. When I come forward in the metamorphosis, we should be at least at the final four. Not true, Cass? Yeah, final four. So then we can begin to really talk about just bet. And how much money being turned over in the world of gambling. How much man we going to lose them house? How much man we going to lose them car? How much man going to win this? How much man going to win that? Because remember, FIFA's world is run by money. Power is in the money. That's why the previous president of FIFA was fired and gave him bridging some whole of money as a donation. It's a world with endless money, you know, FIFA world. I don't know where the money print, but FIFA's money is endless. And because of the endlessness of FIFA money, FIFA don't see no end to its world. So I don't know which one of the world will come to an end. Certainly not the planet Earth, which is here. World without end. Planet Earth. So when I link again, more into the book of Revelations, Lion of Judah and these characteristics, and the football will be winding down. And of course, fan fusion. Let me put in my little piece. Saturday, after being advertised from last year, Dr. tell me says Saturday. I don't even think Saturday could have come so fast. But time moves, waits on no one. So you have to be doing something daily, strategizing. Welcome all ones and ones, so fan fusion on Saturday. Come out and meet the stars of stars, Stylzfm, all the presenters. Cassidy, you'll be there? Come and meet Cassidy and see if him can talk. Yes, see if you can pull some of the silence out of Cassidy, because sometimes the silence is loud. Upper backways talk. Yeah, man, and Sister P will be there right here. She might have spin some music. So Stylzfm and the yearly party is a major event. I'm encouraging all ones and ones to tune in. Yes, fan fusion is a thing. Iman Blak should be passing through, according to the thing. Yeah, so I hate that.
Everybody wanna feel like free. Forget your troubles and the rock with me. You know, feel a reggae music sweet. Yeah. Skanking sweet. For every pain there's a melody. Yeah. For every trouble there's a harmony that brings everything together. So make
make we sing together. And who say life no order? And every man got this struggle. I beg you to help me, Lord, and let me overcome my struggles. Can't be sweet, yeah. Everybody wanna feel like free. Forget your troubles and rock with me. You know feel a reggae music sweet, yeah, yeah. Skanking sweet. Everybody wanna feel like free. Forget your troubles and rock with me. You know feel a reggae music sweet, yeah. Skanking sweet. We skank it till our morning come. Until the day when my troubles are done. Hallelujah. We're grooving in our
Guiding I eternally. Guide I.
Yeah, the Metamorphosis, Dr. Iman Black, giving thanks for another occasion to sit in here at Stylzfm and to say the things that I say. And hopefully it will register in some way within the consciousness of each individual whose ears have been tuned in to the styles. So, you know, July, heading into the summer months. And there are people who will be celebrating the 4th of July in America. Africans must know that that is no day of independence. There is no liberation for African people on July 4th. So we shall just hold the corners and let the white man burst his firecrackers. And we recall and reflect on the 1860s and our attempts to free ourselves. We're still in the process. The liberation is a continuous action. We don't want to be free and dumb and celebrating freedom. We want to be liberated. Liberty is the key. One great American patriot said, "Give me liberty or give me death." Sam Sharp said, "You rather die as a free man than to live as a slave." So we make these decisions in ourselves. Is there any difference between a servant and a slave? We have to know who we are, what we want to be in this time. Peace unto the item. Rastafari, Iman Black, out.
Guiding I